This is Palermo, a small town in the Grampians now facing ruin. Most of its 1,500 inhabitants migrated from Sicily 20 years ago. They rely for their living on a single unique crop, spaghetti. The migrants, or Sicilians, were brought here as part of a government settlement scheme to encourage Victorian rural development. At home, these people had grown spaghetti for generations. It was hoped that in time they would raise the standard of Australian spaghetti to world class. Conditions in the Grampians were ideal for the growing of spaghetti vines, and after 5 years the first crop was harvested. From then on, the industry began to prosper. Until last year, we actually exported Australian-grown spaghetti to Hong Kong. In late March and April each year, the groves echo to the traditional Sicilian work songs as hundreds of itinerant spaghetti pickers pluck the matured strands from the vine. But now, it all has come to an end. This year, for the first time, the spaghetti crop has failed. Hundreds of tons of spaghetti hangs ruined on the Palermo vine. The reason is a long, needle-like organism called Troglodytes pasta, Spag Worm. This seemingly harmless creature does untold damage to the spaghetti vine. It's hatched at the root of the vine, and the growing worm actually lives in the hollow stem of the spaghetti flower. When the spaghetti flower drops, the worm emerges, leaving behind its sloughed-off skin to rot inside the spaghetti. Weeks later, as a moth, it lays its eggs in the ground, and the whole deadly cycle begins all over again. How the spag worm first reached the spaghetti groves of Palermo, the experts find it hard to say, but they suspect an illegal import of spaghetti seedlings. It's interesting to note that the crop failure comes at a time when spaghetti prices have spiraled on the world market as a result of a global shortage, a shortage which is now the subject of investigation by a team of experts from the United Nations Economic Mission. In the meantime, the people of Palermo are trying to find an immediate solution to this war against the spag worm. Orthodox pesticides not only kill the worm, but the spaghetti itself. To make matters worse, there will be no government bounty this year. The government normally pays 1 cent per yard to the spaghetti growers of Palermo, but with no crop, there will be no money. In turn, there will be no seedlings for next year's crop. In other words, ruin. And so a tiny single worm slipped into the country has, in a matter of 2 years, put an end to a flourishing industry and an end to the livelihoods of 1,500 people. Danny Webb for HSB News, from what was once Victoria's spaghetti belt.